All right, so we're going to talk about nouns here, and I brought along this picture of a cute little meerkat that I saw recently. So as we think about nouns then, we know that a noun describes a person, place, or thing. And that's the thing that most people grow up learning, so a person, place, or thing. And then some people also add something more abstract, so maybe an idea, a quality, that's a Q there, so quality. Also sometimes an action, and this one really confuses people because it seems to be in the territory of the verb. So we'll try to distinguish these things, but we'll start with some of the easier examples. The word noun comes from Latin, and in Latin it's written as nomen, which means name. So a noun is the name of a thing. And as we look at this picture then, we can say, well, this is a meerkat. So this is a meerkat. Is it a person? Is it a thing? Well, my daughter might say it's closer to a person than a thing. It's definitely an animal. So my daughter could be described as either daughter, or let's give her her name. We'll call her Tessa. Tessa is also a name. So all of these so far are nouns. Now, where did I see this meerkat? Well, I saw this meerkat in the zoo. Be nice to see it in the wild, but I didn't see it there. So the zoo is a place. And so far we've seen all of these three categories in action. If we wanted to be specific about what this zoo is, we could say, well, this is the Auckland Zoo, which is where I saw this particular meerkat. And so did my daughter, who thought it was super cute. All right, so we have the Auckland Zoo. Now, if we wanted to give the meerkat, we could give it a name, of course, as well. So let's just call it Steve or Alan or something like that. And we're already starting to see a distinction here because I put these two kinds of nouns into kind of two categories here. And on the left side, we have what are called common nouns. I suppose we should put the label at the top, but we'll stick it at the bottom. And then the second kind of category of noun is what's called the proper noun. So what's the difference between a proper and a common noun? Now let's just zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so the difference is that a common noun is not specific. The word meerkat can be applied to any meerkat. The word daughter can be applied to any daughter in the world, and so on. Whereas these proper nouns are specific. They refer to a singular instance of the noun. Okay, so we're going to call this specific. And what's unique about proper nouns is that they're always capitalized. And common nouns are rarely capitalized. There is an exception, so let's say the Prime Minister visited the zoo, and there's the Prime Minister. If we use the term Prime Minister as a title, then we would capitalize it. And that would be especially the case if we put it before a name. So let's just say that Bill English, the current New Zealand Prime Minister, comes to the zoo. Bill English, there's his name. Then especially if we put Prime Minister before his name, then we would capitalize it. So with important titles, you may sometimes capitalize them, but on the whole, common nouns are not capitalized. So that's the distinction then between common and proper nouns. Common ones are more generic. Proper ones refer to a specific instance of a person, place, or thing. We're going to finish by just talking about this last kind of category, an idea, a quality, an action. And we'll provide a separate video to deal with some of these more abstract nouns as well. All right, so an idea or quality would be something like happiness. And my daughter would definitely say that looking at happiness, or sorry, looking at meerkats provides her with great happiness. Is that a thing? Well, you can't really touch happiness. You can't see it very easily, but it is a concept, a thing that you can kind of talk about, right? Another example would be something like watching. All right, so watching is an action, and that's why it doesn't seem to fit as a noun. But in a sentence, you could say, watching was fun. Watching is this thing that we have been doing. And so some actions can be described as nouns. That's a little bit confusing. We'll talk about that in a separate video, but just be prepared to know that, or prepared to see that some of these nouns are a little bit more abstract. They don't seem to quite fit into the easy categories, and that's why we'll zoom in a little bit more later on.